So today's session is do-it-yourself PPP2 application. Okay, PPP2, not the first one, the second one. Right now, it has just become the law and just signed into law on the 27th of December. And the SBA and the banks are very busy. They're preparing to have you apply for it. And so that's why we're here to get you prepared. I want to give you a understanding why we are here to tell you to do it yourself. It's not that we don't want to make money. Community CPA is not a nonprofit organization, so we do charge clients for service, right? But we want you to do it yourself. Let me tell you why. In April, okay, back in April, the first PPP came around. It was authorized $342 billion. And if you recall, majority of the small business didn't get it. It used up so fast, and the small business haven't even finished their financial statement yet. Money is gone, okay? So $342 billion really did not meet the demand. Remember that, right? Now, Congress later on approved additional money, $310 billion. That finally meet most of the small business needs. They even have a little bit left over, but we're talking about 500 billion or 600 billion to meet the need. Now, pandemic is deeper, is worse than before, okay? We're not getting better, folks, so we probably need more money than that. But look, they only authorized 284 billions for the second PPP. You think this number gonna stay on for you to take your baby steps and so you can get it? Forget it. It is going to evaporate very fast. So there is no firm. Community CPA cannot get all tens of thousands clients all applied at the same time. So I need you to come here to know what to do. Do it yourself. Okay? So step 2, apply. Only 4 steps. Number 1, you need to know which bank you are going to submit your application to. That is not what Community CPA will do for you. And we might know which bank you're banking with. And we might know that what that bank is doing. But it is your job to know which bank you're going to submit your application to by the following conditions. Number 1, if you did your PPP1 with that bank already, go back to that bank. Number 1. Number 2, if you know a banker in that bank who seems to be caring about you, and you know that person in person, and go to that bank. Or if you don't know which bank you go to, and every bank tells you no, and you obviously always have Community CPA in your back pocket, and you can always pick us up and give us the tough question, and we'll help you. We'll try to help you. We'll do our best to help you, okay? So that's number 1, you get to know a bank. Number 2, determine you are eligible or not. How do you know you are eligible or not? Okay, and that one, I will give you the next slides, but determine you're eligible or not. Don't apply if you are not, okay? And the Community CPA is not eligible, so we are not applying. But there are many businesses are eligible, so they should apply. And to know the amount you're qualified for, you need to calculate. I'll teach you how to calculate. Submit only these two to the bank. Then you will be okay. Submit as soon as possible, so you will get it, okay? Now, eligibility. Let's just read through it really quick. Your income is gross receipt. Gross receipt is not profit. I'm not asking you made money or not. You maybe made a lot of money, it doesn't matter. And they're asking you for sales. So if your sales declined by 25% or more in any quarter of 2020 comparing to 2019. So it's not any 3 months. You have to go from January to March, April to June, September to July to September and October to December. Okay, and you compare to the same quarter of your prior year, and to identify that if you made only $75,000 in 2020 sales, then your 2019 need to be 100,000 in order you to qualify. That's a qualifier. And you must, number two, you must be in business prior to February the 15th, 2020. Okay, your business must be open before that. And you must have used up or will use up your first PPP. Okay, and then all the businesses qualifying: corporation, LLC, sole proprietor, self-employed, independent contractors, anyone on the planet who are doing business are qualifying. And of course, you cannot have a loan more than 2 million. Boy, why would they say? They should say you cannot have a loan more than 200,000 and not 2 million. 2 million, someone will get 2 million, you know that? That's why the money will go really fast. So that's eligibility. How much can you get? So this is a calculation, okay? And so I know it is a very wordy right here. You can take a picture, but I want you to see a calculation, a simple calculation I have here, which is if I have made $3,000, let's say I'm a single restaurant owner, okay? I'm opening restaurant and I am the only employee there. I just cook and I just sell. And my monthly payroll is $3,000 per month in 2019. And I know my sales went down, okay? But because I employ just myself, so maybe I didn't lose money, I still made profit. But that's not what they're asking. They're asking to see whether your sales went down by 25%. That's a yes. So I take my 3,000, I times 3.5 to get my $10,500 PPP second fund. That is my total amount. This is what you're going to give to your bank. This is what you're entitled to. And now you say, well, 3.5. So who is only qualified for 2.5? If community CPA applies, we only qualify for 2.5. The only people who can do 3.5 is the one with the NAICS code 72. So let's go back to that slide. It's right here. NAICS code. Who is 72? This is definition of Naics Sector 72. And this includes accommodation food service sector. So hotels, restaurants, largely. Travel lodging, Airbnb, those people, and a breakfast, a bed and breakfast, people like that. So they are 72. If you don't know what you are, whether you are 3.5 or 2.5, go look at your tax return. See where you have that on the NAICS code. It will tell you, okay? So some people will do 2.5, some will do 3.5. I have people already worried, okay, if I got it, what am I going to do with the money? What can I spend that for? So easy, folks. Just remember, you have to use 60% of that to pay salary. So you're gonna pay yourself, and the remainder of 40, you can do a lot more things. And what are the things you need to do? So number one, you can cover your operational expenditures. They are expanding the way you spend the money. You don't have to just use for utility, just use for rent. It was like on the PPP1, they had a narrow spending category, but now it's opening up. It's opening up for property damage cost. Remember, some people get ventilated and they lose a lot of money. And those damage, if it is not covered by insurance, now you have the PPP to cover. And what about the office, like my office, and we're redoing the whole infrastructure so that people can have social distancing, and we're putting in fiberglass and to isolating people and stuff like that. Those costs are included in there. You can use that to pay, okay? So that is what right here, you can use that to pay a lot of things. So I want you to stop worried about how you're going to spend it. I want you to just focus on getting it right now. Once you get it, you can always take your time, come over to us, and we'll figure out what is eligible, what is not. What is the worst? What is the worst, folks? If you got the loan and you don't know how to spend, that just means that you cannot be forgiven. You will return that money back. And you also just have 2% interest rate. So I don't see any drawback to apply for it, but I see all the drawback to not apply for it. So now, and this is kind of the quick run for do it yourself. Now you know what to do, right? 4-step. You go to the bank and you figure out when you're going to send in the application, and you do eligibility calculation for yourself, get a backup for it, and then you also figure out how much you will be getting, and then you put the application in with the bank. Some bank, not in our state. I know some state, some bank out of state, out of the state of Iowa and Minnesota, they are already taking the application. So make sure that you work with those bankers if they are doing that for you. And in here, I want to tell you that I had a webinar recorded in YouTube called a New Stimulus Package Explained. This one, and people are reading that right now on YouTube, and we have the number of plays on the screen just showing constantly. It is a very good summary. I had put in all my weekend on the new year. This is on the 2nd of January. I put it together. So please go to listen to that if that's going to help you. And advice to you, do it yourself. And of course, I'm not saying that we don't want you to be our client or we push you away. No, we don't want to diminish your time. Sometimes we have clients and we work on. By the time we submit it and the bank is already closed and you're not going to get your PPP. You can't rely on anybody right now. You just need to go for your own. And anything you want us to support, we'll support you. At the end of the day, we want you to get it. That's the whole reason why we're here today and giving you this short conversation so you know that is in your hand. Okay, we will do our best. And if you are our client and you already did your PPP1 with us, there's no reason why we don't do it. We actually stopped everything else in the firm. Right now, we are just making our staff to watch for the banks and really waiting for, as soon as the door is open, we are starting putting in information. And you can always rely on us, but do it yourself is not a bad idea.